So today we're in the MG Marvel R. I know this has nothing to do with Avengers. This is not going to save us in any shape or form. But what it is hopefully their first electric offering in the Middle East.
Happy days.
Happy days indeed. First things first, let's make this very clear. This is not a review of the car, all right?
No.
This is a European spec that our friends over at IEM, which is Inter Emirates Motors, who are the distributors for MG, have brought down so that we may show the audience what MG's electric future looks like.
Looks good to me.
I like it. Not bad at all. All right. So let's start with the exterior of the car. All right. So I mean, you saw it. Tell me what you thought. First thoughts as soon as you saw it.
First thoughts. I mean, because MG's kind of got that general similar design ethos, you know, going around between all the different models. I was like, what's this? I haven't seen it on the road before. You know, it looks really futuristic. I like the styling. I'm sorry, I have a bias towards white colored vehicles. I do like the color.
Fair enough.
I like it. I think it looks futuristic, but not like too out there.
Yeah.
That you're like, ugh.
Yeah.
You know?
So like what I appreciated about it is, and we've discussed this in our previous videos, please don't forget to check those out if you haven't already, but we've checked out a whole bunch of electric cars. Anyway, in the previous videos, we've discussed the fact that brands have gone two ways. One, you've got the Teslas, where they've just been like, no, let's change everything there is to know about a car. And then you've got the Audis and the Mercedes, where it's more on the front of, let's kind of see how we can get the consumer who knows our vehicle into just an electric vehicle that looks the same, its interior is the same, and so on. I think MG's hit a bit of a middle ground.
Yeah.
You know,
yeah,
I think from the back, it still looks as a regular car to me. It's where the front, which announces that, hey, I'm futuristic, or, you know, something like that.
Something different.
Something different. So that definitely is nice to see. And a Polestar on the road of Dubai.
Wow.
Yeah, good to see those as well. But yeah, I think the details as far as the lights are concerned, even on the side trims, on the overall sleek, but nothing out of the ordinary, which I appreciate.
It's got the funky door handles.
Yeah. So okay, let me make this a bit clear. They went the way Tesla's done it with the whole point out thing. I don't know what the technical term for it is.
Yeah.
So the as you unlock the car, the door handle pops out. But
the one where it's good luck if you have shopping in your hands and try and.
But I would have loved if it weren't this chrome finish that it is. I would have loved if it was an actual solid piece of alloy metal versus this.
Is it not?
So it's this chromish metal that it's got, which I'm not a big fan of. I think it could have been.
There could be a black edition.
There could be a black edition. There absolutely could be.
On to interior.
Okay.
What are we looking at?
I mean, the first thing we're looking at is a giant 19.4-inch display.
It's massive.
It's
massive.
huge. It's huge. It's so big. There are some parts of it which make me want to give credit to MG, and there are some parts of it where I'm just like, yeah, this shouldn't have been the case. So like, at least one thing that happened to me, I don't know if this happened to you, and yes, I know we're supposed to drive in 10 and 2, sure, yeah, but no one actually does that. And like, whenever I'm on the highway, I usually have one hand on the steering and one hand down here, usually on a gearbox or something like that. In this case, my hand keeps hitting it.
Okay.
You know what I mean? And that is something where I'm like, there's just a bit of like distance should have been a little further.
So you want the screen a little bit further
just
away?
Just a little further away,
like
yeah.
Angled a bit
Not,
more upright?
I get what they were doing in terms of, oh, let's have it like really close by. But yeah, I would have preferred it a little angled, further inclined upwards, and a little pushed back.
Maybe I'm okay with short arms?
Maybe.
For me, the thing is, I like 19-inch screen, like go big or go home,
Yeah.
happy days.
Yeah.
But I feel, I mean, and this could easily be changed with a software update to kind of play with the UI a little bit more.
Right.
And utilize more of the space a little bit more efficiently.
Okay.
Like there's a lot of, dead space around the text. So it's like you've got 19
Yeah.
inches, but
Yeah, like
play around
a simple
with that.
example is the fact that the time is shown on both corners of the screen
Yes.
for no reason whatsoever. And that's something
But that's
where.
probably because we're on the home screen.
But that's what I'm saying. Still,
yeah,
right?
yeah, you
Like,
don't need it there.
Yeah,
if it's
like
there.
I'm a person who would love to have my home screen as my main screen constantly.
Yeah.
So I totally understand. I totally understand what you're saying about dead space and it could have been used more
Easily
efficiently.
fixable.
Very.
software
That's the thing.
update.
It's great that it's one of those things that they can, but I also think that this is, and it's a separate topic for another day, but this is where companies like MG and other traditional car companies have to transition into software-oriented organizations where
Yeah.
software updates are a daily
Exactly.
part of the life.
So 19.4 inch screen.
Okay.
Instrument cluster is what, 12.4.
12.4 inches.
I think it looks really nice.
I think it looks very nice, but I will say this. The minute I sat in this car for the first time, the first thing I noticed was just how much information is there. Like, I'll give you an example. Right now, at this minute, the car is showing that it's ready to drive. It's showing me 96% battery. It's showing me a 321 kilometer range. There's a graph for the battery. There is the trip. There is the amount of power being used. There's the radio. There's whether the music is play or paused. There is also the Google Maps. There is the time, and there is a lane detection graphic, which is showing me 2 cars ahead of me. That is an immense amount of information. Now, we haven't had the car for long enough for me to tell you that this can be customized. I hope it can be customized, but it is an immense amount of information. I'm not saying that you wouldn't get used to it, but it's a lot of information.
For me, I like it.
Okay.
I don't have any issue with the information side. My only thing is like when we were playing earlier with the regenerative braking.
Correct.
It wasn't indicative to me to know, okay, where is it at? You pointed out, oh, by the way, it's there.
Right.
So maybe if that prompt changed,
Right,
or
a little graphic to show what's changing.
That's the only thing. But I like the vast amount of information because some people is more visual orientated or text orientated. It's got everything.
Yeah.
It's got everything.
Yeah,
You
fair.
don't have to choose.
Listen, again, like I said, it took me by surprise, but I did get used to it. I'm very used to now noticing in the past 3 days of driving the car, I now know where to look for the information.
Yeah.
But I still feel like it's a bit much. I would maybe cut this down by about 25%.
Yeah. Which
You know?
again they could do easily.
Easily.
Software
updates.
profiles, simple view, complex view. Easy.
That would be interesting to have a simple view, complex view, stuff like that. And if by chance MG has this and we haven't noted that, please do let us know in the comments. But and also, if you're down there, don't forget to like, subscribe, let us know. We've always said this, we're still learning about cars. We just started the segment a few months ago, so please don't forget to let us know. And moving on.
What other features should we expect? You've got a giant map.
Yes, you've got a giant map, which is Google Maps, as per what I can see.
Yeah.
You've got SIM card capabilities, you've got Wi-Fi capabilities for over-the-air updates. Everything that you can do with your car is over here. The home screen has a bunch of information that's all put together, which is very nice. You've got Apple CarPlay, Android Auto, rescue calls, SOS. You've got
Wired, wireless.
wired.
Okay.
Now, this is something that we'll obviously cover as we're looking at the car, and even though it's not a review, I can say this is where there are small little gaps where you can see MG saved money.
Okay.
These are one of those things where it's just wired, and not just wired, it's USB type A wired. It's not even type C. Like with me, I had to literally go home and find a cable, rummage through old cables and be like, okay, where's a cable that will work? So that is definitely there.
Speakers, I noticed Bose.
Yes, there are Bose speakers. There are 9 of them. A
Nice.
surprising number. I would have expected to see like 18, 30 or something. I don't know, but I guess that's where maybe what they chose was to have the Bose name rather than 30 speakers of some unknown brand, which is, I guess, a fair choice.
Or there could be multiple options with a more premium sound.
This is the top spec. So
there's
this
one
is
option. And
100% the top spec.
Okay.
So yeah, so I think it's okay. The audio system sounds fine from my usage. Nothing wrong with it. Not like the MG RX-8 video. And if you haven't seen that, check out the MG RX-8 video because you'll see what we meant by speakers over there.
Interior-wise, design, materials, what are your sort of thoughts, feels around that?
So again, I think we would end up coming back to the very same thing of the, let's say, MG feel, where they've done a bit of plush, but they've also saved money. So for example, with let's say the first thing I noticed when I got into the car was the steering. This is not a fancy electric car steering. It's the same steering that you get in every MG car. In every single MG car, you have this steering. But then on the other hand, you've got this dash with this beautiful multitude of materials. I think I can see 3 materials. There's leather, there's cloth, there's the plastic, I'm guessing, and the chrome. Very nice. Same thing with the AC panel. It's completely controlled by the display, so there's none of that wiggling around with the controls. That's also very nice. But then you move down below and it's all plastic over here, right? It's all hard plastic. Same thing with the sides. You've got multiple materials here as well. But if you touch the buttons, you see those same MG buttons that are always there.
Yeah.
So it's a mix. I will give MG credit for this, and you know I've always said this. I love that MG just offers what it can. And in this case, they've done the same thing with the interiors. Where they've plushed it up. Where they could, they've kept a product that they know works well.
Yeah, I mean, for me, it's like, if I had to be particular, I would say the only thing is on the leather looking bit is the only thing that I'm like, it's okay. I love the cloth. I think the cloth back, let's get rid of leather. It's it's been there, done there, got the t-shirt. Yeah. Nice brush aluminium on the door.
Yeah, the door brush aluminium is really nice.
Looks really nice. And the thing is with the hard touch plastics, these are all in lower areas, so
they're not visible.
It's not visible. Hard touch plastic is actually easier to keep clean.
Yep.
So it is.
It's I don't think it's a trade-off. I think it's just a compromise that you're making as soon as you know what kind of car you're getting.
Yeah.
So I think that works out. And side note, I love the fact that the dash is so nice and low, and there's just so much visibility in the car. Great visibility.
I'm just looking. It's got the panoramic
sunroof. Yeah. It's very, very nice, and I love that we at least have the option to have a shade. But yeah, it's a nice sunroof. It does the job.
One touch as well.
One touch as well. Exactly. So like again, this is another example, right, where they went with the functionality of one touch, but they kept it all plastic the way it is in other cars. That's fine, and that's fair.
Performance.
Okay, what do we have?
We are looking at 288 PS, which is probably around 300 horsepower. Under.
Okay.
665 Newton meters of torque.
That's great.
With 3 electric motors.
Yep. That is another thing I liked about the car.
0 to 100 kilometers claimed acceleration of 4.9 seconds.
That's not bad. This is not aimed at anything except for city driving, so I think we're okay on that front.
Yes, and it has a all-wheel drive mode.
Okay.
So all-wheel drive, go to the beach.
Yeah.
Shouldn't really have too much issues, but no dune bashing.
No dune bashing. No, that's fine. I'm sure someone will take it to the desert at some point.
Probably
will. But you drove it for a bit. What did you think?
I like it. Overall, drives like any other normal car.
Yeah.
If I have to be super pedantic, I felt the dampening with the suspension was not the most luxurious.
Okay.
But we don't know on price yet.
We have no idea on price.
No idea. But otherwise, drives nice. I'd love all electric cars to be single pedal.
Yeah.
Regen.
Yep.
One pedal driving, but it is what it is. And the modes do reflect. You've got three modes, right?
So you've got what is called the MG iDrive. So you've got all-wheel drive, Sport, Sport Plus, which is where you can hit the 4.9 seconds, and you've got Eco mode, which is what I pretty much drove this car on, because hey, if I'm buying this car, I want it to be economical. And there's a winter mode, but we don't need that because it's a European spec. But yeah, but it definitely does reflect. when I drove the car, what I liked the most was the fact that it was a stable drive. You remember in the MG RX 8 video, I discussed how I needed heft in a car.
Yeah, a little bit more oomph.
I got that heft and that zero gravity center of gravity because of the batteries and everything being below. So that's nice. It's unfortunate the car doesn't have a frunk. I would have loved to see a frunk, but there's no frunk. And but you do have a spacious boot and stuff like that. And on the overall, I think the deciding factor for this car is 100% going to be price.
Yes.
Yeah, because if you do a rough conversion, this car is somewhere in the 210 to 20 range right now in the UK. It's about £45,000.
Okay.
But usually cars that are priced there come here a bit more expensive. True. And as we start touching 250 to 60 to 70, it will get very difficult to compete with the competition out there, because you've got Audis in a 320. You've got Mercedes just launched the EQB, which is their smaller crossover vehicle in competition to this. So you've got that, and that's where MG could possibly lose out, but I'm not saying that that's what's going to happen. Maybe this car comes out at 180, which I think is the perfect price for it.
It's killer.
180 I think is the perfect, absolute perfect price for it. What are your last thoughts to MG?
I think they need to look at the wireless charger. So I like that it has a wireless charger.
Right, so it's got one in here.
In here, but when you pull your phone out, you get the wireless charger bottom with it.
All right, so we'll just say this: we don't know if this has to do with maybe just the fact that this is a
probably used, heat and European spec.
Maybe it's just a used and abused unit of review cars, maybe. But yeah, just look into this MG. It can't just keep coming out every time. But yeah, that's it. That's the MG Marvel R. Let us know what you thought. Let us know what you think of MG entering the electric market, and any questions you have, we're more than happy to answer. So let us know in the comments below. This is Sam, myself Danish, and thank you very much for watching.